Okay, to graph this function, y is the cube root of 2x plus 1, using these four values of x, we have to compute the four corresponding values of y. So when, let's put the values of x and y into a table here. Negative 14, negative 1, 0, and 13. So for each of these we'll have to figure out what y is. Y is equal to the square root of 2 times negative 14 plus 1, being the cube root of that. That's the cube root of negative 28 plus 1, cube root. That's the cube root of negative 27. And since negative 3 to the third power is equal to negative 27, the cube root of negative 3 to the third power is negative 3. So that's our first value, negative 3, on the graph of this function. Okay, now when x equals negative 1, let's see what happens. So then y is going to be the cube root of 2 times negative 1 plus 1. And that's the cube root of negative 2 plus 1. That's the cube root of negative 1, which equals negative 1. Because negative 1 is the same as negative 1 to the third power, because negative 1 times negative 1 equals negative 1. So this ends up just equaling negative 1. Now for 0, when x is equal to 0, then y is equal to the cube root here of 2 times 0 plus 1, which is the cube root of 0 plus 1, which is the cube root of 1, which is 1. So this one equals 1. And finally, when x equals 13, y is equal to the cube root of 2 times 13 plus 1, which is the cube root of 26 plus 1, which is the cube root of 27, which is the cube root of 3 cubed, which therefore equals 3. So at 13, this function equals 3. And we have 4 points. We'll try now to graph this function. Negative 14 to 13, so at these four values, at negative 14 we go to a height of negative 3. Here's 3 and here's negative 3. So negative 14 we go down to negative 3. So the graph goes through this point. At negative 1 it goes down to negative 1. So it goes down to this value. At 0 we go up to positive 1. So we're up here at the y-intercept. And then at 13, we go up to a height of 3. Y-axis and x-axis. So this graph looks like it's doing this between this over this interval. So there we have the graph of this function over the interval from negative 14 up to positive 13.